Alright there pal, my name is Stephen, also known as the Effing Scotsman, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII. Now, from where I last left off, we just got out of school. Yeah, quite literally, there it is right there. And we need to go to the fire cavern, which is just across the road there, so just before we get there though, we need to do something really quick. So I swapped GFs, like, I gave Zack Pikachu instead of Shiva. We'll get to that reason in a little bit. But before we do anything, we need to go into the ability select screen, because this is really important, especially for the early game, and pretty much important for all the game. So, GFs learn abilities, okay? They learn through ability points or AP. You get them after battles. You don't get a lot of AP usually from battles, but you usually get like 1, 2, depending on the enemy and how many there are, and so on. Bosses tend to give the most, like from 20 to 100 in some cases. So, what do these do? Well, this is junction to your HP, to your vitality, so if we had this right now, and junction magic to it, we'd have a lot more hit points. Vitality is your defense, basically. Card, we'll get to that in a second. Magic is obviously magic boost, but we're not really going to use magic in this playthrough, so we'll leave that. Unless we decide to do it later, I guess, I don't know. We'll get there. Some magic is GF power. How powerful a GF can be. GF HP is, I'm assuming you can guess that. Boost is boosting the attack power by up to 250%, but there's only one GF that you can do that on, and again we'll get to that later, much later though, like I'm talking about 40 hours later. T magic is thunder magic, or in this case lightning and wind magic, so we can like refine magic from an item, and there's also a little ability we get later that can actually make better magic from low level magic. It sounds so complicated, and it's really not. It's like, it sounds really complicated at first, but the more you get into it, the better you'll know of things. But for this one, we're going to learn Card with Pikachu, and what we're going to learn with... we're going to learn Eye Magic, or Ice Magic, for Shiva. Why? You'll see. We'll get there. So, what we need to do is go to the fire cavern. Hopefully we'll not get into a fight. If we do get into a fight, no biggie. Oh wow, surprisingly didn't get into a fight. Usually with my luck in this game, it's like I go 5 steps and I'm in a battle all of a sudden. Junction magic. No, because I'll be doing that as I go. Yep, ready to go. Yes, we know how to use it. Basically what she's going to tell us is when we're in battle we can actually do our own critical hits 100% of the time with Squalt by pressing the trigger button, which is R1 in this case. It's handy. Especially for his limit wreck. Yes. My name is Zack and I was born ready. Interesting to note, we don't actually see many other instructors. I think we only ever see like 1, maybe 2 extras along with Quistis during the course of the game. So yeah, I picked 10 minutes there because that's obviously the option of champions, and this is like the shortest dungeon ever, so nothing too much to worry about. Right, so onwards we go. So I think the only thing that bothers me about this place is the fact that we're surrounded by lava and we're not catching on fire. Clearly there's something to do with future magic. The boys often choking us when I come with them. Really, Quistis? If by relax you mean give me... You know what, I'm not even going to go there. Not going to go there. But anyway, yes. Oh, we're into our first battle. For the most part I'll be skipping battles, but I'll show you some of them. Obviously I'll show you the boss battles and that, but one important thing to know about this game is, for the most part, we'll be running away from bosses. Not bosses, enemies. The only reason why we should fight enemies is to draw magic and get ability points, but what we're going to do is not level up, or at least try not to level up as much as possible. Ideally we want to keep Squalt at initial level 7, because in a way it makes the game easier. In fact no, it does make the game easier, But before we go there, we just found the draw point. Remember that sort of glowy purple thing that we saw back in the garden? Well, here's another one here. This one's got fire, so we'll give that to Zach. I'll just give it to Zach for the time being. 13 fires. That's not too shabby, actually. Usually you get like 6 or 7, depending on what draw point it is, depending on what magic it is. It just really depends. And depending on how much magic you got, how big your magic stat is as well. Oh, good bombs. Or we don't and we just run away. Alright then, so for the most part we will be just, like, I'll edit out the battles like this one. Right, battle skipped, onwards. Actually there's something we're going to do before we fight Ifrit. Something fairly important. In fact we should get into a battle right now. Can we get into battles in this area? Right, just out of a battle, and I'll show you in a second what I've just done. Right. I've put Squall in yellow health. Oops. Why is this? Because limit breaks. Limit breaks work a little differently in this game compared to other games. Basically, the lower your health is, the more chance you have of doing your desperation attack, or in this case, limit break. So when your character's in yellow digits, you will get a limit break pretty much 100% of the time. Although, I say that, you actually you need to kind of like skip characters a few times in battle to actually get a limit break to pop up if it doesn't appear the first time. So the reason why I swapped GFs around is because Shiva's on quizzes to do extra damage while I do my limit breaks as well. You'll see what I mean. Apologies in advance if I'm just really, like, if I'm just basically putting everything in one basket, just spilling it all over the place. Nice analogy, by the way, you know. Also, Ifrit, did you see him? He's like really badass and cool looking. Look at him, he's like a big demon guy. It's awesome. Also horny by the looks of it. Hey, get it? Funny? Jokes? No. Ugh, we'll open up with Shiva. Right, let's character switch a few times. We'll get Renzo, which is Squall's limit break, if you imagined. Oh yeah, speaking of GFs, if you start casting them, they've got their own health bar, so that it's essentially armour for your characters. It's just David take the hit instead, and heals Renzo. Oh sweet, rough divide. Basically Squall's limit break is just like the constant crit attacks that you can do with the R1 button, but as a limit break. And later on down the line, when we're more powerful, you can do attacks potentially with 9,999 damage each. It's great. Now, if we had boost learned, but we don't because we're not really going to use GFs pretty much anymore after this. Only in certain cases though, but not all the time. We can hold the select button and then tap the square button, but like I said, we don't have boost, so we're not going to do that. It would be quite nice to do a tiny little bit extra damage, but it's nothing to choke about. 174, that's not too shabby to start off with one attack. We do have Shiva actually, yes. Suck it. Now back to Renzo. Trigger, 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 trigger. Another Renzo? Another rough divide rather? Nah, maybe not. Ideally we'd want to kill Ifrit in the low, like, sort of 30-second mark, but I don't want to be all convoluted and shit, so I'm just going to off him straight away. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it later as well. Join me. Cool. You actually wanted to join us. Also, we got Ifrit's card. This is a good thing. Remember how we started off with 7 cards and they weren't exactly the best cards ever? Because, well, let's be honest, they're not. We'll keep them as... should we keep them? Fuck it, we'll keep it as Ifrit. I feel like we should have went with Charmander or something. Or Charizard or whatever. No quizzes, I'll do that later. Yes, yes. Basically what LMJ does is elemental fire attacks. Elemental attacks such as fire. just like Quiz has said there, if I had Blizzard and LMJ... Oh, hang on, battle. I'll skip this. So yeah, LMJ, right, so... In this case, in the Fire Cavern, if I wanted to fight these baddies in here, I would put Blizzard on to my elemental attack, so I can do extra damage because these guys are fire based, and obviously ice is weak to fire and vice versa and all that jazz. So it's pretty neat. Then at some point we'll get something called Status Junction, so we can either inflict statuses such as Sleep, Silence, or defend against those statuses. It's probably the most useful thing in the entire game. Right, time to get out of this godforsaken place. Feeling a little bit warm. Oh, so close, I can see the light. No! Okay. And we're free! And those two guys are gone! Let's report them missing! Yay! Oh well, out we go. And world map. Okay then, so back through the forest. Surprised we've not encountered any nasties yet. Holy shit, that's 2 runs we've done through that little path and we've not encountered anything. So, I'm going to show you a little example of drawing magic from enemies in battle. So, I'll run about, hopefully get a battles, like now please. That'd be great. Thank you. So this is literally the first and only enemy battle, like regular enemy battle, that will show. Just for an example's sake. Although Zach is lacking in the health department, I probably should have healed first. Yes, Chris's, we explained that about 2 years ago. In fact, what I'm going to do... Should I heal him? Nah, these guys don't really do much damage. So, select draw, pick the enemy you want to draw, and because we've already got fire, we know that obviously that first magic that they've got is fire. So let's stock some. Right, so we've got 5. You can get a maximum of 9 files, or 9 magic in general, per enemy. So you need, if you're lucky and get 9 of whatever magic, you could potentially just draw 10 times and get 100 of each magic. So yeah, that about does it for that. So we'll draw once more. On camera, that is. Right, then let's run. Sweet. Right, let's run back to road safety, because you can't actually get battles when you're on a little pathway like this, which is really handy. So, now that we've got a bunch of magic, in fact, let's go to the magic selection screen. Exchange for Squall. I want you to take that. Yeah, take it. So we've got 29 fire. In fact, no, we want to have... Right, we're going to do a little swapsy actually. Just for now. Okay, so notice at the bottom that Mag and Sprue, which is magic and spirit respectively, they're weighted now instead of grade. So if we put magic into that, notice how it's at 6 for magic, and if we put fire there, it's now up to 8. So that increases our chance of inflicting more damage with magic, and also drawing more magic. So if we had 100 of these, it would go into double digits, very easily into double digits. So I think what I'm going to do, off camera at least, is go and draw some magics. But before I do that, in fact, I'm going to save right now. Ignore that other save, that was from yonks ago. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is, there's a particular enemy that I'm going to farm here. And it's down in the beach here. Okay. So just need to run about. So yeah, on the beach you only fight these little enemies. What the hell are those? Those are fins. We're fighting fish. Sandfish. Wait, what? Yep. And they've got some good magic. Actually, let's double check, 'cause I can't actually remember for it. Oh yeah, he doesn't have a GF anymore. Hang on. What's he got again? Or what have they got again? Right, they've got Blizzard, so that's good. Sleeps. Oh, that's very handy actually. We need to get more of those. Scans, okay. Scans are pretty much useless, but let's escape right now. Alright, so that about covers it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you've seen, please consider hitting that like button, or don't if you prefer, and I'll see you in the next episode.